Has technology solved the trust problem? The problem of ensuring that someone will fulfill their obligations to another? Hi, this is David Allen Greer for the Errant hashtag. Today's episode is entitled Changing Trust. When trying to understand blockchains, Bitcoin, cybersecurity, it's very easy to get lost in the details of public key cryptography and the power of peer-to-peer networking. However, the basic lesson of this technology is very simple. It's like a speed bump. It changes the nature of trust from a question of character to a mechanical reaction. Speed bumps are intended to make drivers slow down for the safety of pedestrians and neighborhood children. However, most drivers don't think about safety or children when they encounter speed bumps. When a speed bump is encountered, a child is a moral abstraction to drivers. But damaging their suspension or hitting their head on the car roof is a very physical presence. Of course, blockchains are meant to provide trustworthy transactions, not to slow cars. They're a public, secure ledger, and they record transactions in a way that's very difficult to modify. With Bitcoin, the blockchain records the creation of each coin, the movement of coins from one hand to the next. No one can create counterfeit Bitcoins or spend coins they don't have. In the changing nature of trust, blockchain destroys one set of institutions and creates new ones. It moves work from banks, courts, and governments to computer owners. Because it's a distributed database that resides on multiple computers, a blockchain record is valid if it is verified by a majority of the computers that add new records to it. The system is secure as long as honest nodes collectively control more CPU power than any cooperating group of attacker nodes, explains the original 2008 paper on Bitcoin. Over the past 9 months, the blockchain technology has faced a new crisis of trust. An Australian engineer, Craig Wright, has identified himself as the inventor of blockchain and Bitcoin, although the original papers were circulated under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. While preparing a portfolio of patents related to blockchain technology, Wright seemed to have decided that this work would be better received if it were identified with the inventor of Bitcoin. There are, of course, rules for assigning patents that are administered by national patent offices, one of the institutions charged with maintaining public trust. To obtain a patent, an individual must be the first to file a claim, have an invention that's novel, and demonstrate an idea that's not obvious to people working in the field. Although the original Bitcoin and blockchain ideas aren't patentable because they've been released to the public, other ideas associated with them might be. However, the concept of inventor isn't always administered by an institution of trust. Instead, it is often bestowed by a community that's more interested in the technology. Wright has presented his story to the Bitcoin community, but has yet to convince enough people that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. He has established that he knew some of the early workers on Bitcoin and had access to some of the first encrypted records. But he took some actions that might suggest he's a fraud. Andrew Hagen tells this story in detail in a recent article in the London Review of Books entitled The Satoshi Affair. As is common in internet communities, the Bitcoin community erupted into angry and violent discussion about Wright. After a few days, Wright withdrew his claims. "I broke," he wrote. "I do not have the courage." One of the purposes of trusted institution is to remove emotion from decisions, to provide a systematic way of establishing trust. Patent offices, banks, government agencies do it one way. Bitcoin and blockchains have shifted that process for certain kinds of transactions to an algorithm, one that relies on a majority of computing power. It hasn't, however, solved all problems of trust, nor provided a way to convert a community's emotions into a sense of trustworthiness. This is David Allen Greer for the Errant hashtag. Take care.